Oh my gosh. Hello? I just fried that man's whole life. Oh, okay, I gotta block. Gotta learn when to block. Dude, what? Oh my goodness. How's it going, everybody? Buffalo here today, and I am happy to be bringing you this amazing Bushido blade Gley build. It's using the Deus Ex Manus as well as Ultimate Gley. When these swords came out, initially I was grinding for Shadow, but then I got this one from the event pass when it came out on October 2nd and started using it on Gley right away and saw the potential. It's a heavy weapon, so infinite ammo on Gley with a heavy weapon is always going to be good, and this thing is a lot of fun and can do a lot of damage. If you have not played infinite ammo Gley before, here's basically all you need to do. You're going to press your first ability to become frenzied. Once you are in a frenzied state and you press your third ability, you will now have infinite ammo on whatever weapon you had out when you pressed your third ability. Now you can swing away to your pleasure until that duration of that ability runs out. And then we already have our third ability back again before it runs out. And just infinite ammo forever. As you can see, there's an ability building up for my right click. That's the right click right there. Hit the third ability again. Just have to hit people with the left click. 4 hits and you get the right click back instantly. So boom, hit 4 guys with it. Right click, 4 guys. Make sure we're not running out of ammo. You cannot gain stacks on the right click if you are completely out of ammo. I'll wait for the ability to run out here. So see, now I'm out of ammo. You can still attack with the left click as much as you want. So we'll go back into the infinite ammo phase here. So even though it says I have 0 ammo, I can infinitely attack. But now you see I'm not building up stacks for the right click. So you are going to make sure that you do not run out of ammo, or else you're going to be losing out on a lot of damage from not being able to have that right click. So make sure you're always paying attention to that little bullet. It's 3 bullets and an arrow. Once that runs out, you're going to start using up your ammo, so just pay attention to that. And now it's gone. Hit our third ability again. Keep going. Just make sure you're paying attention to that, and that's how you play the build. So if you're doing damage to a single target enemy, you are going to need to hit them 4 times to get the full right click back. So this is what it's going to look like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right click, 1, 2, 3, 4, right click. You can usually get off about at least 3 of those before you need to put your third ability back on. So first we'll just go over the reactor and the components here. I am using a non-attribute and dimension reactor, just in case you need to use your second ability to get HP back, which you won't need to with this module setup, as I'll show you in a little bit, but you do want the skill cooldown and the skill duration up. Doesn't need to be upgraded. Your skill damage won't matter, like I said, unless you need it for your second ability, which you won't really need. Then for external components down here, I am using 2-piece of the Manus set for the 6% melee weapon attack, and then I'm using a 2-piece of the Shell Crusher set for the fire rate. Now looking at our modules for Gley, we're going to be using Predator Instinct. We've got Walk on a Tightrope. So when HP is lower than 50, you get increased 30% multiplier to your firearm attack. Got MP Conversion and Nimble Fingers for cooldown. Maximize Duration for duration. Shot Focus for more firearm attack. More duration here as well. Up here is going to be all HP and some skill duration as well. And then what I was talking about earlier with not needing the HP from our second ability. Most builds for Gley are going to have a focus on dimension up here for the second ability, and it also gives you a little cooldown. Like you've got focus on non-attribute here, gives you some damage for your second ability and some cooldown. Most Gley builds are going to have focus on dimension here instead. With the sword build, since you're constantly in people's faces getting hit and getting attacked, I really like HP Collector a lot. Have no issues with survivability at all on this build in Axion Plains or in the new Void Vessel, unless I'm going up against the final boss of the new Void Vessel, he can hurt you. And then also gap in time over here. This is also just going to benefit your second ability. If you do need to get some life back using that, if you are about to die, if you're not getting enough back from HP Collector, just use your second ability. You'll be getting buffed by gap in time. Focus on non-attribute and your reactor here as well. If you want to go ahead and level it all the way up just for that, sure. I wouldn't waste some materials. As you see, I haven't here. For my weapon setup, I've got the Last Dagger and Restored Relic as my other weapons. These are both really good weapons on Gley, just in case you need them. Just in case, you know, a lot of the enemies in this game, final bosses of missions, that type of thing, they can teleport away from you really quickly or dash away from you really quickly. And they don't really have any cooldown on that kind of move, and it can be frustrating just trying to dash back and get back to them over and over using the sword. Also, some of the big creatures that spawn in during Axion Plains, it's just better to use these kind of weapons on, because the sword just does have that limited range. Or if you're going against like the Booger Slug in Axion Plains and he's got his bubble up and there's just poison all over the ground underneath him, you can kill him rather quickly, but you're probably going to end up dying to that poison on the ground underneath him. And then there's other enemies that just dash away over and over and over, and it's kind of frustrating trying to continue to close that gap where a gun would just obviously be better. And then here are the weapon cores that I'm using. Obviously you want melee weapon attack, you want to get weapon chill attack on there, and then 1 crit hit rate and 2 crit hit damage. And then for the rolls, for the readjustments, more chill attack, more crit hit rate, more crit damage, and more melee weapon attack. Just want to go over the Deus Ex Manus with you now and its unique ability, and why you're going to want to upgrade that unique ability level as much as possible is because it's going to affect your base melee weapon damage right here. This is with 2 upgrades to the unique ability, so after 2 more, I believe I'll be at 9%. You start at 5. And then for the right click down here, it goes up 10% each time. So you start at 40, I've upgraded it twice. I am now at 60% multiplier of damage per stack. And you have 4 max stacks with the right click when you do it right. So I still have a lot more damage I can get out of this sword, and it's already crazy. It's already destroying things. And we still have this much more damage left to be able to put on there. This is the mod setup that I'm currently using. I do not have all the modules yet. There's one called Lethal Swing for crit damage that I've been trying to get and I have not been able to get. Kind of frustrating, you know, trying to farm for the swords. You have to do that in the Void Vessel missions, and then the most efficient way to farm for these modules is in Axion Plains, so you're kind of going to go back and forth. Because crafting this over and over for the enhanced unique ability does give it more damage, not only for its basic left click, but for a lot more damage for its right click as well. So you want to keep making as many of these as you can to get it fully enhanced for its unique ability, but you also want to have all of these modules. So I am missing one for crit damage that we'd probably put here instead of this crit rate, because my crit rate is already through the ceiling. But besides that, this is basically the best setup that you can have right now for the sword. Got Sword Dance here for crit rate and attack speed, range up here, attack speed up here. You always want more attack speed. This is the best attack module for the sword at plus 57.6 multiplier melee weapon attack. It does take down the range though, 15%, but like as you see here, we got plus 83 there. And then you need hardened reinforcement. This is a great damage modifier. Better concentration for crit damage. It does have chill on it inherently, so you're going to want chill enhancement and then chill priority. This is going to take range away as well, but that's why we got the range over here. We'll be fine. And then Veil Analyzer, you definitely need this. This is an insane module. It does 1,500 multiplier damage when you're attacking of anti-void or anti-RK shield. I'll show that in my gameplay. It just actually does insane numbers. Just a regular left click can do up to like 30 million on one of those shields when they're covering the things in the new Void Vessel missions. So you really need this, but don't worry, this one drops quite a bit, so you'll be able to get this easily. Go ahead, take a look at it. That's your module setup that you'll want. And here's the RK tuning board that I'm working with right now. Basically, we're just going and get as much firearm melee weapon attack. It's the same thing on the arcade board. All firearm attack is now melee weapon attack. We're getting as much melee weapon attack as we can get. Melee crit hit damage, melee crit hit chance. We are going to go over here and get some duration up for that third ability, so we don't need to stop swinging and hit that third ability as often to keep it up for the infinite ammo. And then, yeah, besides that, we're just stacking as much melee attack as we can. If you don't want the duration up, you don't need it. It's kind of nice to have, though. You can get some more extra HP here. You can go into piercing here as well, which is like weak point, but there's barely any there to be had. You're getting just as much from this one node as you would from these two. You could get more, 0.4 more melee attack along with 2 HP, or you could get 0.8 more melee attack if you didn't want this duration up. I don't think it's significant enough to go for. I'd rather just have this additional duration up. I find that very nice for the third ability, so you can swing more without having to worry about losing ammo, and then you don't have to take that kind of 1 second pause to hit your third ability again, where you have to stop swinging. You might be surrounded by enemies, even though it won't really matter. You'll have time to get that third ability off and start swinging again and knock everything down with the right click and get your HP back with HP Collector. Here is your inversion reinforcement board. Pretty basic here. You don't need to worry about buffing your skills for this build. So we're going to go for chill focus rounds for the chill on Deus Ex Manus. We're going to go for selective cellular stimulation here, just to keep getting our HP back and be even more tanky while we're in the face of 20-30 enemies with our sword. Then down here we're going to get the skill duration from Deploy Resonance Device. For the Fellow, it doesn't really matter here unless you're going to be using Last Dagger and Restored Relic a lot and you're running out of your third ability at times and you need to refill. Then having the Vesper's Hunting Dog will help. But besides that, if you're just using the sword, you don't need to worry about reloads or anything. I've just been keeping the Snowy Sled Dog on. Just really quickly, I wanted to show my Luna setup for this sword. I'm basically just taking the range off and putting on piercing rate modifier, which is equating to weak point. So that's what I'm running for Luna. I might make another build on how good the sword is for Luna. I think the snipers are still better at the end of the day, but the sword is strong on her and definitely a viable option.
Primary tactical objective confirmed. Requesting search and destroy.
Right, that will be it for today for the Bushido Blade Gley build guide. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a lot of fun with this. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm going to go farm for some more Deus Ex patterns right after this when I get done posting this. If you guys want to come do some runs with me, I'd be more than down. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to see some of my streams or to see more videos like this. I do need to get some more subs so I can get monetized on YouTube. I've been working really hard. It would mean a lot. Everything helps. Also, come check out the stream on Kick if you'd like to. The link is in my bio, and I'm live there about 5 to 6 days a week. So yeah, if you want to see some more content, come hang out or even jump in and play. Come check me out here on YouTube or over there, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.